First and foremost, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. If it wasn't for him, this would not be possible. Low Nose Boxing. Hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe. We just came off of an electrifying weekend of boxing. Shakur Stevenson defeated Teofimo Lopez in a 12-round unanimous decision. He dominated the fight. You know, this is a fight that I've been anticipating for quite some time. I made a video about this fight in the past, and I said that in order for Shakur Stevenson to win, he would have to trust his defense to the point where he's not overcommitting to movement. He would have to trust his defense to the point where he could step out of range from Teo's punches far enough to be able to get off his counters rather than being too timid like he was against Edwin De Los Santos. And that's exactly what he did and more. Even though I was picking Teofimo Lopez to win this fight, I did see a scenario where Shakur could win. That's why when this fight was first being spoken about, I made a video saying that it's a 50-50 fight. But I would never imagine that Shakur Stevenson would dominate the fight the way that he did, right? When I first saw the fight live, I was a little bit biased because I was emotional there watching the fight amongst the crowd. I probably gave Teo maybe 3 or 4 rounds, but after watching it again, I gave Teo 1, maybe 2 rounds the most. And it's not a knock on Teo as a fighter. I still feel that Teofimo Lopez is a physically gifted fighter, highly skilled, highly accomplished, great resume, certified Hall of Fame whenever he retires. And he's a fighter who showed in the past that he can bounce back from a loss. And I don't throw my fighters away. Teofimo Lopez, I believe he's going to bounce back and continue to accomplish great things in boxing. But right now, I want to talk about Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, the fighter that dominated Saturday night, right? Prior to this fight, I said that if Teo wins, he's top 3, top 4 pound for pound. I said Shakur will be top 4, top 5 pound for pound. But I also said, depending on how he wins. Based on the way that Shakur Stevenson won the fight, he dominated the fight on all aspects. I'm going to have to go on the limb and say that Shakur Stevenson is my #1 fighter pound for pound in boxing. I already put a whole list on my page on the post that I got Shakur Stevenson at #1 pound for pound, followed by Usyk, Inoue, and Bivol, and then Bam Rodriguez. That's the top 5 right now in boxing. And Shakur Stevenson, before anybody would say, oh, how can he be #1 pound for pound when you got Usyk, 2 division undisputed, you got Inoue, all due respect, there's a certain criteria that I go by. I go by resume, I go by accolades, I go by skill set, I go by level of domination, consistency. And it's pretty much safe to say that Shakur Stevenson has defeated and dominated the most skilled fighter one of the most skilled fighters in boxing. Basically, Teofimo Lopez is a better fighter than anyone on Usyk's resume. He's a better fighter than anybody on Inoue's resume. And once again, Shakur Stevenson didn't just move up and be the bigger guy, a slower guy. Even though Teo did look slower, he did look like he was off and everything, but he still defeated a natural athlete, an elite level athlete, a fighter who personifies special effects. He nullified him. He dominated that fight. Shakur Stevenson is #1 pound for pound. Sometimes you can skip the line when you're projected to be a #5 and go all the way to #1 based off one performance. Let me get in my history bag. When Roy Jones Jr. fought James Toney, right? At the time, Roy Jones probably was like #10 pound for pound. James Toney was hovering around #2, 3. You know, at the time, Pernell Whitaker was the top dog. But the way Roy Jones dominated that fight and shut James Toney out 12 rounds to 0, that automatically leapfrogged him to the #1 spot on the pound for pound list. And that was supposed to be a super fight. Just like this Saturday that passed. It was supposed to be a super fight, and it turned out to be a super performance by Shakur Stevenson, dominating Teofimo Lopez, who was a pound for pound fighter, who was a 2-time undisputed in my eyes, who was a lineal champion, who is also one of Shakur Stevenson's contemporaries among the 4 young kings of boxing. Shakur Stevenson is the current pound-for-pound fighter in boxing, #1. With that being said, hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment, subscribe. Lord knows boxing because Lord knows boxing.